a different feed. Theirs is buffering an awful lot. Hey, everybody. I started. Look at that. My audio's live. Welcome to another Bernie Sanders rally. It's this one. He's in San Jose, California. And we have a nice feed here coming from KTVU. It's buffering a little bit, so I'm going to look and see if we have a different stream. Right now, there's nothing going on. But there you go. And I've got no audio. They just had a speaker come up. I don't know who it was. One guy came up, and then another guy come up real quick. And you can see it's bouncing around there. But it's a nice, clear picture, and hopefully it won't buffer too much. Again, that's a stream from local KTVU live stream. Channel 2 News in San Jose. Thank you for joining us. This started already. We didn't know it was going to start this soon, and this looks like it's a pre-show thing going on here. I am going to look for a different feed just to see. I know we got a couple options. How is everybody doing? I don't even think we have a crew ready to go yet because we weren't planning on it. I know this is also being carried on News Universe, and they don't even have it starting yet, right? So I think what we just saw there might have been some really early stuff. Hey, everybody. Let's see. You know what I'm going to do here? I'm going to get this opened up on another tab so I can keep an eye on it. And then we can talk about stuff. Let me see. Oh, that one's got a... Hang on. Here's one. They have one running on the KUTV site. That's interesting. It's got a Honda commercial on it. We don't need the Honda commercial. All right. Well, what's going on? Let's keep an eye on this. If you haven't heard, we have rampant election fraud going on around the country. And Nevada, we kind of caught on video, the election fraud happening in Nevada. Of course, what they're focusing on in establishment media is the alleged violence that did not happen. And it's really a disgrace to the nation. Disgrace to the world what's happening with the establishment media. They become a propaganda machine. They know it. It doesn't really matter because they're working for the ones in power. But I find it very, very scary that I am living in a dystopian nightmare that I read about as science fiction in my youth. And now I find that my government is that dystopian entity. It's scary. 58 of you there. And you're asking for a backup feed. I've got a couple backups. It's just, yeah, I've already got that done, Jess. It's just a question of which one's News Universe and the other guys. They're probably just going to go live when it shows up too, and they'll be pulling from someone else. Next stop, Dune. Dune. I don't get that. That would be cool though. I would like to have the. I like the Dune suits. That's a good idea. I think it's a really good idea. All right, let's see what else we got going on in the news. Earlier today, we talked about the fact that Van Jones seems to be the only journalist around these days who took issue with the way the establishment media was spinning the narrative. He rips the DNC chair over rip between Sanders and Nevada Dems. I think she made it worse. She absolutely did make it worse. She accused Bernie Sanders and us, his followers, of being liars. And that's disgraceful. Plus, they didn't even address the actual issue of election fraud that we saw on camera, but they're not showing that, are they? So the most important thing for you guys to do is to take the clips that are on Facebook that are pushed around, the clips that we left on the newsroom on politicalrevolution.tv, and share them with people who refuse to listen to the truth. People that are indoctrinated on the tube. We need to shake them. Wake up! Because we are on the verge of a revolution here. We are in a political revolution right now. And as JFK has told us, when the people when peaceful means of protest are taken away, you've got nothing left but violent means of protest. The Democratic Convention, the process, is supposed to be our peaceful means, and it's being taken away from us. And the establishment better think twice about that and the repercussions of what that means. And if you want to read that as a threat against the establishment, it absolutely is. Is it a threat against human beings, individuals within the establishment? No. I don't want to cause harm to any individual. Do I want to end the establishment rule of my government? Absolutely. What does that mean? Removing them from office, either by vote or literally by taking over the building and saying, please get out. Either way, they don't have to be harmed. One way or another, the establishment government will bow to the will of the people. We hope that it doesn't come to violence. They are begging it to happen. By refusing to listen to the people, they are asking for the violence they allege has already occurred. The only violence that has actually occurred, everybody, so far, there have been a couple instances of violence perpetuated by the Hillary camp or by people who are Bernie Sanders detractors. Wendell Pierce, who's a star, was busted assaulting to Bernie Sanders supporters. That's an assault on Bernie Sanders supporters, not an attack by them. The incident that they're talking about at the convention with the chair was picked up, the chair was put back down. Nobody threw a chair. Nobody's hurt with a chair. So we have that video. We have all the video. We have the proof. Oh, and the Sanders campaign, when they were setting up shop in Nevada, the place they were setting up the campaign center was shot at, and where their workers were being housed was ransacked. So that's some violence perpetrated, another act of violence perpetrated against the Sanders campaign. Were those incidences talked about at all on the media? No. Not at all. They're talking about alleged violence that did not occur and death threats. These were real. These were death threats against Roberta Lang, who obviously failed to do her job, anointed herself queen early in the morning, and then decided the queen declares this is over. I don't know about you, Roberta, but quite frankly, the death threats were warranted. I don't think anybody's going to act on them, but what you did was piss on democracy. And then you wondered why everybody got mad at you for it. You reap what you sow. And right now, the establishment is, they're getting what they need to get. And it's going to get worse if they don't listen to us. I think that's the message we're trying to push out is we want this to be peaceful. We want this to be calm. We want this to be done above board. But every step of the way, you are blocking the route to peaceful protest. So it's on yourselves. It's on their heads. 102 watching. No CM scheduled until time. You still want to run? You can run Twitter. Okay, no problem. Thank you. I didn't expect people to be showing up. I just started early. Weirdly early, and the truth is it's not actually going. See, like here, let me get over on the screen. It's just the K2. I realized it started early. I thought we were catching a speaker. The last time this happened, I was like, oh look, it started already, and then boom, Bernie Sanders. I was like, oh crap, we just missed him. So that's why I decided to go live now, so we wouldn't miss anything. Yeah, you guys just do what you need to do. Do what you need to do. They have a meeting coming up. We'll route this. We'll run hashtags. We'll talk to you guys. How is it going? Why not go independent the same hour Bernie's not? I don't know. I think if he threatened to go independent, I think if he went independent, he would take all the votes he needed with him. It would shatter the party. It would be a big wake-up call to the establishment, and that may still be in the playbook. I mean, Scott has said this. We have to trust the strategy on the Bernie Sanders side of the campaign, and we do. I have to trust. They know. Everything I tell you guys is based on my fifth grade understanding of how this election cycle works, and the fact that as far as I'm concerned, it only takes a fifth grade understanding to see that it's been rigged, that it's election fraud, that no matter what you think the rules are supposed to be, the rules are kind of void at this point because nobody's playing by the rules except for the group of people that are trying to change the rules. Doesn't really work that way. What time are we at? 12:37. This was supposed to start in 20 minutes. So it probably will. Probably does start in 20 minutes. Let me get this queued up so you guys can see. I've got it running on a couple screens so we make sure we don't miss anything. But right now, nothing going on. Just K2. See? Here, we might as well. For the record, this is what This is the violence, the alleged violence that they're talking about. I love that lady. It's not over. It's not. What you saw there was the alleged violence. The chair going up in the air. The chair coming back down. That's it. On the Sanders side of things, let me list the actual allegations from the Sanders camp. This is what Bernie is being called a liar on. You and I, when they call Bernie Sanders a liar, they call us a liar. At the convention, the Democratic leadership used its power to prevent a fair and transparent process from taking place. Among other things, the chair of the convention announced that the convention rules passed on voice vote. When the voice vote was clear, no vote, it was clear. I mean, you could hear it. Even Cenk Uygur was like, hello, I don't know what your ears are saying. At the very least, the chair should have allowed for a head count. Again, the chair allowed its credentials committee to en masse rules that 64 delegates were ineligible without offering an opportunity for 58 of them to be heard. That decision enabled the Clinton campaign to end up with a 30-vote majority when it did not have this majority before. The chair refused to acknowledge any motions made on the floor or allow votes on them. The chair refused to accept any petitions for amendments to the rules that were properly submitted. These are on top of failures at the precinct and county conventions, including trying to depose and then threaten with arrest. Threatened with arrest, the Clark County Convention credentials chair because she was operating too fairly. I don't know how many more egregious violations you need to rack up before somebody with a moral compass in the DNC says, you know what, we've really made a mess of this shit, and that's not the right way to run a democracy. But no, you know what they're focused on? They're focused on the chair. They're focused on the threats to Roberta Flaing. You know what, Roberta, you wouldn't have gotten the threats had you done your job. And as far as threats and violence and political revolution, I just want to remind everybody that, well, that's how this place got started. We talked about that this morning. Oh, I forgot the Kent State shootings. I thought this was great since we're passing time. The Boston Tea Party, initially referred to by John Adams as the destruction of the tea in Boston. How many of you are my age, 46 years older, and have never heard of it referred to as the destruction of the tea in Boston? Destruction of property. It was a political protest by the Sons of Liberty. They were a political protest group that committed acts of civil disobedience against the monarchy. They included, well, the founding fathers. All right? They went into disguise, apparently as Native Americans, in defiance of the Tea Act. They destroyed an entire shipment of tea, destroyed it, destruction of proper tea, and basically told King George to F off. This country was started with an act of civil disobedience, and prior to that one, the destruction of the tea in Boston, which we glossed over in American history books and called the Tea Party, we all got together and we dumped some tea and had some drinks, and it was great. We did some tunes. We told George, we're not liking you. Yeah. Was actually a violent act. An act, a direct action. Right. Oh, we got audio back. Maybe something's happening. Hang on. Can you hear that, guys? Going. All right. So I just want to remind everybody that in order to get this country started, we had to do more than sit in passive protest. We had to... Yeah, they're playing some odd music. You know, so when the DNC complains about the Sanders people screaming and shouting and getting angry and passionate about what has been wrong there, they need to remember that that's kind of the whole point of democracy, to allow us to discuss these things so that we don't have to destroy property, right? Yeah. Interestingly, I didn't know this, but apparently the Boston Tea Party, or the destruction of the tea in Boston, was like the last of several engagements. They had done this at other ports, and what they'd really done there was, I think, just say, you can't land here. Like, good luck trying to get your boat here. Good luck trying to bring your tea here. This particular one, and I don't have the whole thing in front of me, but apparently the governor of Boston, or mayor, whatever area, was really, in bed. He was a loyalist with the establishment, and there was something he could have done, but he didn't do. And so that was the whole reason they ended up going onto the boats, dumping the tea. It was like, okay, fine, if you're going to be an establishment guy, then we're going to bypass your rules, and we're going to go on this ship, and we're going to commit an act of civil disobedience. We're going to destroy government property. So that's a reality check for everybody. In a political revolution, rules, well, they get broken by both sides. And the rules that apply are, it's a political revolution. You got to do what you need to do. We don't want to hurt people. We want to take out the establishment. There's a big difference. That just means removing people from power, putting some people in prison, holding justice. Some people need to be brought to justice. And their government is not, they're not doing it. They're not bringing people to justice. We need a recount in Kentucky. I saw that. Yes, I agree, you do. Oddly enough, Hillary Clinton does really well in all the states that have rampant election fraud. It's amazing. Bernie was set to take Kentucky. Occupat is at the rally in the chat. Fantastic, Occupat. I know you sent me a message a while back. Listen, guys, I've got a stack of emails. I have been focusing on doing these shows, and then we're getting ready to move. Like, I'm packing things, and I've got to get like everything down. Plus, I'm trying to find an Airbnb that's like rooftop in Philly. Fishtown looks like a good place. If you guys know of an Airbnb person or have an Airbnb in Philly or whatever, I've seen some things. I need to get that for a week, from like the 22nd to the 30th. And I'm in the process of buying some gear so I can be there. I'm going to show up at Philly. It's going to be me and Scott and a couple other people. I'm hoping to meet up with Janine and everybody else. And, I've got some ideas about what we can do. I want to blast some Bernie Sanders media. I want to cover the event for history, for the record. I want to cover it the right way. I want to make sure the narrative that's told is true and not some bullshit glossed over version. So if you guys know anybody in that area, own it, Airbnb, or know somebody that does, let me know, because definitely going to go there. Fishtown is fun times. Is it, Death? Awesome. Interview by Jordan Cheriton with Hillary Delegate, where she blames Roberta Lang for problems in Nevada, on YouTube. Watch it. Nice. See, that's the thing. Even the Hillary people that were there, the ones that understand what's supposed to go on in a democratic process, were like, wait a minute. That's not okay. It doesn't even matter. It's not about who won here. The process broke down. And this inept woman was like, well, I'm the queen, so ran off. She had a temper tantrum right there. I mean, it was sad. It was embarrassing. I don't even know how the people in media can cover it and not just like reading the teleprompter. Like, really, I have to read that. No. When is one of these guys going to just stand up? I'm mad as hell. I'm not going to take it anymore. When is somebody's going to stand up and go, I won't read that? That's just utter shit. I won't do it. Nope. Is it Van Jones? Who's it going to be? Van Jones is the only one right now that's calling bullshit. I'm waiting for him to get fired. Van, you have a job here as soon as you do. You know you will be. So, I can't pay you anything. But I guarantee you a fantastic crew, and that will tell the truth. And you can say anything you want, including F-bombs. Think of what we could do. It'd be awesome. It would be awesome. Do I have a chat? Should I be running in the lower thirds? Am I being a dumbass? Should I be running? Is anybody talking? Hang on. I don't even have the right sheet pulled up, do I? No, it's because we don't have anybody here. That's right. Now I remember. This is going to go down in history. A dork named John Ellis spent a lot of time talking to people online while he broadcast Bernie Sanders. Twitters. What hashtag do we want to find? What hashtag do you want me to show, guys? You tell me. I don't even know what we're running these days. Van Jones will be on TYT. Okay, that's better. That's better than anywhere else. And you're right, TYT is a great place for him to go. They're connecting up with Fusion. I know TYT is dabbling into that corporate direction, trying to get more eyeballs on. I think it's a dangerous partnership, and we will have to see where Cenk and crew go. We will have to see if integrity is maintained. We'll have to see if the truth is maintained. And the great part about it is we can let them know. If they start lying, if they start losing out on integrity because they're connected with an establishment entity, which is Fusion, and Fusion is owned basically by the same people that own CNN and everybody else, if we see that, Cenk knows. He knows his audience is going to tell him, dude, fail. So in today's internet entities, it's very easy for us. We hold the power. So you know what? Nope, bullshit. Done with you. So we'll see. I hope they can. Really, I'm not sure we're gonna get a lot of conversation under the tweet "fuck" or the hashtag "fuck" or the hashtag. What's this one? Fuck HRC. I'm not sure there's a lot of good conversation. And thank you on my shirt. Oh, hang on.
My name is Betty Kano.
Hang on.
I've been a lecturer at San Francisco State University teaching Japanese American art and literature. I've been a board member at the Japanese American National Library, and right now I'm phone banking and canvassing for Bernie. I really don't know how this country could possibly become one that would build a wall to shut out others, or one that banned an entire group of people. There would have to be so much fear and hatred stoked up to allow such a thing to happen. What we need now is the opposite of fear and hatred. About 75 years ago, within days after the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor, thousands of Japanese Americans were summarily arrested without charge and detained. My grandfather, Isaburo Adachi, was incarcerated at Fort Lincoln, a Department of Justice camp at Bismarck, North Dakota, for many months, and then finally reunited with his family that was incarcerated at Topaz Relocation Center in Utah a year later. There were 10 relocation centers in the United States where 120,000 innocent persons of Japanese ancestry were incarcerated. In 1988, the United States Congress Committee on Redress and Reparations determined that there were 4 primary causes of that unjust incarceration: racism, wartime hysteria, economics, and failure of leadership. Students, ex-internees, scholars, friends, family, everybody says we need to honor our memories of World War II. So that atrocity, those horrible injustices will never happen again. Yet, here we are now witnessing belligerent and hysterical responses to the crisis in immigration and racist targeting of Muslim Americans. The racist targeting of people of color in the United States. is a candidate of a lifetime. Yay!
Hello, everyone. Are you feeling the burn? Are you feeling the burn? Let's hear it. Are you feeling the burn? What a fabulous California day, ain't it? It's a tad bit warm, so stay hydrated for sure. This is the only place on planet Earth that is innovating every single minute. Right now, we are innovating for the whole world right now. It's happening. Providing a technology solution to make it a better world. This right here is Senator Bernie Sanders' turf. We love him. Walk anywhere in Silicon Valley, in Santa Cruz, in San Francisco, in Oakland. This is Bernie country. And we are proud to claim Bernie as one of our own. All right, my name is Rishi Kumar. I'm a council member in the city of Saratoga, in the heart of Silicon Valley. And I'm also a passionate Democrat. I'm an executive board member, yes. I'm an executive board member of the California Democratic Party. And I am a high-tech geek. And thank you for cheering, because in Silicon Valley, geeks are rock stars. But political activism and engagement is my passion. I am 100% behind Bernie. If you watch the pundits on TV talk, you will hear a lot of misinformation. You will hear that Bernie supporters are toddlers and kindergartners. They will tell you that we are a bunch of young Turks, wide-eyed students and millennials. Do I look like a kindergartner to you? You will also hear that Bernie does not have a lot of ethnic support. But I stand here proud. I'm a proud Indian American supporting Bernie. You will also hear that Bernie Sanders is touching a very, very sensitive chord with the voters who are the working class and the forgotten middle class. Well, we are proud. It is so true. It is very true. Bernie Sanders has a lot of support in the high-tech fields and in Silicon Valley. Let's give it up for Bernie. So, I went to engineering school. I've been a high-tech worker. I've worked for a couple international Fortune 50 high-tech companies, and today work for a software analytics company in Santa Clara. High-tech. Yes, Bernie. Bernie. Bernie, 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 Bernie. So let me tell you this. Let me tell you this. We want Bernie. There is a medic on the way, so it's happening right now. It's happening right now. There is a medic on the way. So it's happening right now. Just calm down, please. Okay, so let's go on with my story here. It's a very, very interesting story. Listen to me. Listen to me. I have used my high-tech experience to bring innovation, technology, efficiency, and innovative ideas to public service. I'm proud to bear the flagship of new ideas on my city council. I seek to provide, simply stated, services that are cheaper, faster, better for Saratoga. And I'm applying the high-tech innovation to governance, community outreach, and engagement. Much of what I've learned is in the high-tech industry, and what I would like to do is to define a better future for our community and the world by making prudent choices. And that means I'm a Bernie follower. How's the future going to look like? Are we going to take the horse carriage and leave it as it is? Or will we turn it into an automobile? Or will we turn it into the hyperloop that Elon Musk is creating right now? Wouldn't be fantastic to have Silicon Valley innovation in Washington, D.C.? I know Bernie Sanders is going to make it happen for us. Not little tweaks to address our problems. We are doing a substantial rethinking of the fundamentals thanks to our fearless leader. Who is that? Wherever Bernie goes, he's defining the message for America. He's bringing a unique perspective to age-old problems and a refreshing view to issues of America. He does not speak the language of hatred. Who does that? He does not speak the language of heavy pockets book. Who does that? This is our man. This is our man. The man who poses a challenge to status quo. The man who is not a flip-flopper. A man who brings... A man... about. A man who started a revolution that all of you are part of with simply stated words. Words! His message is changing the messaging for America, and that's what I love about Bernie! We can think bigger. We can think bigger. I agree with Senator Sanders. We need to think big. We need to invest in our future. We need to build our infrastructure. We need to not only build more roads and highways, housing and schools, we need to do it smartly in an environmentally safe way. We have to be good local and global citizens. That is very important. We can rebuild our crumbling infrastructure and do so in a way that is much more efficient, utilizes modern technology, and gives us a competitive advantage. Our Silicon Valley, but only with Bernie's sense of American citizenship and commitment. All of this while creating millions of jobs for all of us, all of us. Do we hear this from other candidates? No. Because they are just saying whatever they can to get your vote. Will you believe into that? No. They are resorting to racism and hatred. But Bernie is standing out. And that is why you and I are feeling the burn. And so is the rest of the country. Bernie Sanders is what we have been waiting for in America. Big ideas, big dreams, big hopes, and one big tent. Workers, students, immigrants, engineers, nurses, managers, and anyone who believes that if to invest in a country means to invest in each of us. That's what Bernie is running for. Technology does not make your phone cooler. It helps you diagnose illness faster, respond to emergencies like what is happening right now, make our community safer with better services, better schools, and once again, in an environmentally conscious way, creating hundreds of thousands of quality, high-paying jobs for all of us here. Who will benefit from Bernie's agenda on the White House? Who will benefit from Bernie's agenda? Like I said, I don't believe in everything the pundits say, but there is something I do believe from them. I believe them when they say that Bernie Sanders has shocked the world. He has started a revolution when we all wanted one. Believe me, we are the ones that will be part of the victory party. Shock of the world happening on November 1st, 2016. The pinnacle of Bernie mania is going to happen right there on that day. We will all be there to see that happen. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all I have to say. Thank you all for indulging me. I present Cenk Uygur from the Young Turks next. Let's give it up for Cenk.
Wow, Cenk Uygur. That's pretty cool. For the record, I'm Bernie or bust, Cenk. How about you? And yeah, everybody, it is buffering on our end. My guess is KTVU Channel 2 is using an upstream unit from a mobile location, very much like the live view. And obviously, it's buffering here. I'm sure there is a ton of wireless and upstream activity happening at this event, and that's what's going on. At least it is a clear image. And the guys down there got rid of that buzz. So I really appreciate the guys at Channel 2 News giving us this beautiful image. And you know, someday when we rebuild our infrastructure, we need to give everybody fiber internet. That really should have been done by the government a long time ago. If we had a government working for the people, we'd have high-speed internet across the country. It would be owned by the government. We'd pay for it to be maintained. We wouldn't be fighting for access to things with this wild west of service providers and rates and bullshit. I guess on a good end of that, they are now scrambling to get customers because they realize that things have changed. Prices are coming down so they can lock you in so they see where it's going. How is everybody out there? What do you guys have to say? Almost 500 of you joining us today. Thank you so much. You do have fiber in it? You got Fios there, Kathy? Lucky for you. That's awesome. That's awesome. There's very few cities across the United States that have done this for themselves. Longmont, Colorado was one of them. Mike Butler's the chief of police there, chief of public safety, actually, which includes fire, police, and infrastructure. And they passed a measure not only to ban fracking in Longmont, which the city of Colorado overturned, or the Supreme Court of Colorado overturned, because they crap on the people. But Mike and City also passed a law so that they funded their own high-speed internet. So everybody in the town is going to get fiber access. It's a town of more than 100,000 people. They're also connected to green energy. We watched a video for a trailer of a movie called Tomorrow. And I loved what they put in there about communities becoming more autonomous, because it just makes sense. And the sad thing is, if you really think about it, everything we're doing now, everything we're scrambling to do to save the earth, really goes back to the way Native Americans and other indigenous cultures were living before the industrial age, when we decided to come in and, I don't know, be assholes to the planet. Technology and biology and environmental science can work in harmony, but it's time to end our use of fossil fuels. We've got about 10 years. Got about 10 years to do that. Things are going to get incrementally worse fast, but we have about 10 years to divest from fossil fuels completely. On to more happy thoughts. That guy was pretty energetic, eh? He had a lot to say. Yeah, we're gonna... Oh, I'm not even on the right doc. Hang on a second. We're running out of comments here. Thank you guys, comment mods. We'll give you a break here. Go back to the hashtag. I guess I'm tracking a future to believe in, everybody. With Pearl Jam in the background.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Please give a warm welcome to Mr. Cenk Uygur, the host of the Young Turks.
Hey, everybody! Well, I was going to introduce myself, but it sounds like you guys might know us. So, for those who don't, I'm Cenk Uygur. I'm host of the Young Turks. We do news online. We're not like the TV news guys. You know what that means? That means we're with Bernie. All right, let me ask you guys something. Do you think that the establishment media has treated Bernie Sanders favorably? How about fairly? All right. Now, some of you know I worked in TV for a little bit. I worked in cable news, and and sometimes I have to wind up explaining to my old colleagues in TV why you guys like Bernie Sanders so much. And they really don't get it. And so it's my job to explain it to them. Well, that's one theory. She said they're idiots. In their way of thinking, they say, wait, I don't get it. Hillary Clinton is the smooth, polished, slick politician. I think you might have just answered it. And they say, I don't understand. Bernie Sanders is not a smooth politician. Sometimes he doesn't even comb his hair. And that's what I've got to explain to them. That's why you like him, because he's real. All right, in case they're here, let's explain it to them. Do you want a slick politician? No. Do you want a politician that the establishment likes? No. Do you want a politician that the powerful are comfortable with? No. It's time to make the powerful a little uncomfortable, isn't it? The other day, they were upset that you guys were a little too loud in Nevada. Well, I got news for them. We're only going to get louder. Now, if you don't want a slick politician and you want someone who's authentic, you want someone who's been fighting for 40 years, who would you want? Exactly. Now, do you want a politician who's got to calculate whether to put on a Cubs hat or a Yankees hat? Do you want a politician who's got to calculate when to work for the Children's Defense Fund and when to sit on the board of Walmart? Do you want a politician who calculates how much she's going to charge Goldman Sachs? And how much they're going to want in return? Who do you want instead? So let me explain it to the corporate media. Bernie Sanders didn't have to calculate whether he was against desegregation. Yes, Elvis is in the building. All right, he's coming out in a minute. Now, Bernie Sanders didn't have to calculate whether he was against segregation. He didn't have to calculate that, hey, when they said, do you want to get arrested fighting for desegregation? He said, yes. He didn't do that for politics. He did it because he cares. When they asked him, hey, are you willing to be chained up to an African-American woman? He said, yes! That's because he cares! So, who's the one politician you trust to care for you? Thank you. Thank you, Seth. Let me thank all of you. What a fantastic turnout. Thank you so much. Let me thank Lauren Wakefield. Let me thank Hans Aberbach. And let me thank one of the great entertainers in my lifetime, Joan Baez, for being here tonight. Let me thank Betty Kano and Rishi Kumar and Cenk Uygur. Thank you so much.
You know, our campaign has come a very long way in the last year. When we started, nobody thought that we were going to go very far, but as of last night, thanks to the people of Oregon, we won our 20th state primary caucus. And thanks to the people of Kentucky, we won half of the delegates staked there. We won a few months ago a great victory in the state of Washington. We won Oregon last night, and I have a strong feeling that with your support, we're going to take the entire West Coast. All of you know that as part of the Democratic nominating process, California has by far the most delegates at stake, 475 of them. And on June 7th, let us win the vast majority of those delegates. Now, I am extremely proud of the campaign that we're running, and one of the things that I am most proudest of is the fact that in state after state, we are winning by large margins the vast majority of young people. And what young people are telling me is that they understand they are the future of our country, and they want to help shape that future. And the reason that we are getting so much support from young people is they know that the future of America is an America based on social justice, economic justice, racial justice, and environmental justice. Now, in this campaign, as Cenk was mentioning, we have had to take on the entire establishment. That's okay. That's okay. We have taken on the financial establishment. And when we get attacked by CEOs from General Electric or Verizon, you know what? I'm fine with that. When we get attacked by people from Wall Street, I feel great. And we have had to take on the political establishment. In every state that we have run in, we have had to take on Democratic governors and senators and members of Congress and mayors, literally almost the entire Democratic establishment. And in state after state, the people have stood up and helped defeat the establishment. The reason that this campaign is doing so well is a pretty simple one, and that is we are telling the truth. And what is the truth? The truth is, and we got to put this right out on the table, is that today we have a corrupt campaign finance system in which billionaires are buying elections. Just give you an example. The other day, a guy named Sheldon Adelson, I don't know how many of you, all right, you know him. Here is how crazy the system, and Sheldon Adelson, a multi-billionaire, is prepared to spend millions of dollars to elect Donald Trump, another billionaire. When you have billionaires supporting billionaires, that's not democracy, that is oligarchy. And you and I believe in democracy, not oligarchy. We believe in one person, one vote. And that is why together we're going to overturn that disastrous Supreme Court decision on Citizens United. But it is not just a corrupt campaign finance system that we are going to fight. It is a rigged economy. This is what a rigged economy is about. A rigged economy is when today the top 0.1% now owns almost as much wealth as the bottom 90%. When children in America are going hungry, when veterans in America are sleeping out on the street, the wealthiest 20 people own more wealth than the bottom half of America, 150 million people. A rigged economy is when the wealthiest family in America, the Walton family of Walmart, owns more wealth than the bottom 42% of the American people. And what is even more absurd is that Walmart, owned by the wealthiest family in the country, pays wages that are so low that many of the employees there are on food stamps or Medicaid. And it is the working families of this country who pay more taxes to subsidize the employees of the wealthiest family in America. So I say to the Walton family, get off of welfare, pay your workers a living wage. But it is not just unequal wealth distribution. It is an economy in which, in my state of Vermont and in California, people are working 2 or 3 jobs just to bring in enough income and health care to take care of their families. We have millions of Americans today working longer hours for lower wages. And despite all of that, 58% of all new income generated today goes to the top 1%. That is a rigged economy. It is a rigged economy when major corporations make billions of dollars in profit, stash their money in a tax haven, and in a given year pay nothing in federal taxes. That's a rigged economy. It is a rigged economy when large corporations shut down in the United States, throw workers out on the street, and then move to low-wage countries all over the world. That's a rigged economy. Our job together, and we can do this, is to create an economy that works for all of us, not just the 1%. That is why together we're going to raise the national federal minimum wage to $15 an hour. Nobody in America who works 40 hours a week should be living in poverty. I am sick and tired of seeing poverty all over this country, wherever I go, whether it's in the inner cities, whether it's in rural areas, whether it is in Puerto Rico, where I was the other day, whether it's on Indian reservations. Too many people are living in poverty. Politicians don't talk about it. The media doesn't talk about it. We will talk about it and address that issue. I will not accept. You will not accept the disgrace of the United States of America having the highest rate of childhood poverty of almost any major country on earth. This is the wealthiest country in the history of the world. Children should not be living in poverty. Senior citizens should not be living in poverty. Veterans should not be sleeping out on the street. We're going to change our national priorities. This is a campaign which is going to make certain that health care becomes a right of all people, not a privilege. Yes, Affordable Care Act has done some very important things, but we have got to go further. And I want everybody here to understand that we are the only major country on earth that does not guarantee health care to all people as a right. If elected president, trust me, we are going to change that. The function of a healthcare system is to provide quality care to all people as a right, not to allow the private insurance companies and the drug companies to make billions in profit. And that is why together we are going to fight for a Medicare for all healthcare system. This campaign is listening to women. Women are telling me two things. For a start, they are tired of working for 79 cents on the dollar compared to men. They want the whole damn dollar, and they're right. And I know that every man here will stand with the women in the fight for pay equity. And women in California and all over this country are tired of Republicans running around the country talking about family values. We know what they mean by family values. And what they mean is that every woman here in this state and in this country should not have the right to control her own body. We disagree. And when Republicans talk about family values, what they mean is that our gay brothers and sisters should not have the right to be married. We disagree. Jane and I, in a couple of weeks, will have been married 28 years. And I have got to make sure I do not forget that anniversary date, or I'll be in trouble. 28 years. We believe in family values, but our family values are that we should guarantee paid medical and family leave for every family in this country. I do not want to see a working class woman in Vermont or California give birth to a beautiful baby and then have to go back to work in 2 weeks because she doesn't have the money to stay home with that baby. We are one of the few countries in the entire world, rich or poor countries, that does not guarantee paid family and medical leave. Together, we're going to change that. This campaign is listening to young people. And young people are asking me, they're asking why it is that when they do what their parents say, what they do when their teachers say, what the community says, go out and get the best education that you can, why is it that they end up $30,000, $50,000, $70,000 in debt? Frankly, if you think outside of the box for a minute and you understand that we need the best educated workforce in the world, we conclude we should be rewarding people for getting an education, not punishing them. "50 years ago in California or Vermont, you had a high school degree, you could likely go out and get a pretty good job. The world has changed, education has changed, technology has changed. Today, in my view, when we talk about public education, we cannot just talk about first grade through 12th grade. We have got to make public colleges and universities tuition free. How many people here this afternoon have student debt? Well, welcome to the club. Millions of Americans every month are paying off their student debts, and sometimes for decades. That is crazy. And that is why I believe that we should allow people with student debt to refinance those loans at the lowest interest rates they can find. Now, my opponents, and there are many of them in the establishment, in the corporate media, they say, well, you know, Bernie Sanders is Santa Claus. He wants to make public colleges tuition free. He wants to substantially lower student debt.
He wants to legalize my parents.
We're going to get to that. We're going to get to that in 1 second. So how is he going to pay for these things? And I will tell you how. 8 years ago, as some of you will remember, the United States Congress, against my vote, bailed out Wall Street. Wall Street's greed and illegal behavior nearly destroyed our economy, and then they went crawling to the United States Congress and they said, bail us out. Congress did. Well, today, Wall Street is doing just fine. I believe we should impose a tax on Wall Street speculation. That will bring in more than enough money to make public colleges and universities tuition free and substantially lower student debt. Now, Wall Street doesn't like that idea, and I say, so what? The United States government has got to stop listening to Wall Street, start listening to the American people and their needs. This campaign is listening to our brothers and sisters in the Latino community. Today there are 11 million people who are undocumented in the United States. And many of them, and people don't realize this, many of them are exploited every single day on the job because they have no legal rights. And if you have no legal rights, your employer could cheat you, do anything he wants to you. Many others are living in fear. They're living in the shadows. I believe the time is now for Congress to pass comprehensive immigration reform. And a path toward citizenship. And if Congress does not do the right thing, I will use the executive powers of the presidency to do what's right. And I will end the current deportation policies. Our job in terms of immigration, and I know a little bit about immigration because my father came to this country at the age of 17 with no money. So I know a little bit about the immigrant experience. Our job is to bring families together, not separate them. This campaign is listening to our brothers and sisters in the African American community. I have been to Flint, Michigan, and talked to parents whose children have been poisoned by lead in the water. I have been to Detroit, Michigan, where their public school system is on the verge of fiscal collapse. I have been to Baltimore, Maryland, where tens of thousands of people are addicted to heroin and do not have the treatment they need to get off of that addiction. And the African American community is asking me, how does it happen that we have trillions of dollars to fight in a war in Iraq that we never should have gotten into? But somehow we do not have the resources to rebuild our inner cities. And they're right. Instead of fighting wars that are unnecessary, instead of giving tax breaks to billionaires, we are going to rebuild communities all over this country. We're going to create affordable housing so people do not have to pay 50% or more of their incomes just to have a roof over their heads. We're going to create world-class schools for our children, not dropout factories. And we're going to make sure that all of our kids in inner cities and in rural America have the health care that they need as a right. This campaign is listening to a people whose voices are almost never heard, and that is the Native American people. All of you know that the Native American people have been lied to, have been cheated from before this country became a country, when the first settlers came here. Yet we owe the Native American people a debt that we can never fully repay. They have taught us so much. And one of the most profound lessons that they have taught us is that as human beings, we are part of nature, must live with nature. And that if we continue to destroy nature, we are destroying ourselves. This campaign is about bringing people together, not separating the American people. Now, I know that there are many people who are concerned that Donald Trump may become president of the United States. That will not happen. It will not happen because in virtually every national and state poll that I have seen, we are running way, way ahead of Donald Trump. But more importantly, I know that the American people will reject the very basic tenets of what Trump stands for. The American people will not vote for a candidate for president who insults Mexicans and Latinos, a candidate who insults our Muslim brothers and sisters, a candidate who insults women, who insults veterans, who insults the African American community. The American people understand that our diversity, the fact that we all come from different places, is our strength as a nation. Some of us come from Asia. Some of us come from Latin America. Some of us come from Africa. Some of us come from Europe. That is our strength. And the American people understand that coming together always trumps dividing us up. And the American people understand that as human beings, we are not full human beings when we are only concerned about ourselves. That we are stronger and better and happier human beings when we reach out and try to help other people. We are a stronger and better people when my family is there for your family. When your family is there for my family. And the American people understand that supporting each other always trumps selfishness. And the American people also understand what every major religion on earth has told us, whether it is Christianity, Judaism, Islam, Buddhism, whatever it may be. And that at the end of the day, what is most important for our lives is to see that love always trumps hatred. And that is why Donald Trump will not become president of the United States. When we talk about making changes in America, We have got to recognize that we have a broken criminal justice system. We have more people in jail than any other country on earth. Together we are going to end that. We are going to create jobs and education for our young people, not jails and incarceration. We are going to rethink the so-called war on drugs. Marijuana today is listed as a Schedule I drug under the Federal Controlled Substance Act. Together we're going to take marijuana out of the Federal Controlled Substance Act. Now, I live in Vermont. I do not live in California, but if I lived in California, I would vote yes to legalize marijuana. And by the way, there will be another proposition on the ballot in November, and that is to control the escalating cost of prescription drugs. Pharmaceutical industry charges us the highest prices for medicine in the world. They're ripping us off every single day. Let's go, California, and help stop that. All of you know that change in America never comes from the top on down, always from the bottom on up. That's the history of the labor movement. It is the history of the civil rights movement. It is the history of the women's movement. It is the history of the gay movement. And all of that history is when millions of people are prepared to stand up and fight back, we can make profound change. And I can tell you that from coast to coast, people are looking around them and they're saying, this kind of grotesque level of income and wealth inequality, unacceptable. The fact that we are not dealing more boldly with the planetary crisis of climate change. The fact that we are not more vigorously taking on the fossil fuel industry and moving toward energy efficiency and sustainable energy, that's unacceptable. Fact that we are the only major country on earth that doesn't guarantee paid family and medical leave or health care to all people is unacceptable. The fact that our young people are leaving school $50,000 in debt, unacceptable. The fact that millions of undocumented people are living in fear, unacceptable. And here is the bottom line. Yes, Wall Street has unlimited sums of money. Yes, corporate America's greed is helping to destroy the middle class. Yes, the corporate media does not talk about the issues facing working people. But at the end of the day, if we stand together as one people, and not allow the Trumps of the world to divide us up. If we stand together, there is nothing that we cannot accomplish. That is what this campaign is about. On June 7th, there is going to be an enormously important primary here. In fact, it will be the most important primary in the whole nominating process because 475 delegates are up. With your help, we are going to win here in California on June 7th. If we have a high voter turnout, we will not only win, we can win by a lot, which is what we have to do. And my hope is that this great state, one of the most progressive states in the country, will make it loud and clear and say to the American people and the world, California is on board for a political revolution. Thank you all very much.
Oh, that was badass. That was Bernie Sanders in San Jose, California. Fantastic crowd. Wonderful stream from KTVU. That is the Channel 2 down in San Jose. I say down in San Jose. I'm up here in Portland, Oregon myself. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. And it's California. I remember the 2000 election, and it was Florida. Florida was the key state, and they cheated. They cheated. It was just, I remember watching. It was like, yay, we've won. We're going to move on to a green world. Gore wins. Yay. And then they cheated. And we lost that election by less than 2,000 votes. And it was because the Diebold machines were cheating. And they were hacked into, and Jeb Bush owned those machines, oddly enough. Anyway, this time we have kind of the same situation going on. We have a problem with the media. You heard Cenk Uygur at the beginning talking about, I have to explain to my colleagues, we don't get it. I think they get it. I think they get it. What they like is their paychecks. And they think that if they remain loyal to the establishment and continue pushing this false narrative, that they're going to get to keep their jobs. And that's just not the case. That is just not the case. They need to go read some history books. If they all went to journalism school, I'm sure at some point they were forced to read the history of journalism, read about the muckrakers, what happened then. Then you go read about what happened to other people that remained loyal to the establishment during revolutions and find out what happened to them. I'm going to guess journalists are going to start jumping ship soon once they realize it's not safe to continue to lie on primetime television to a people who can see right through the lies. I think that's part of what guys like Les Moonves, douchebag at whatever network it is, who admitted. We've heard the clip where he said, hey, everybody, Donald Trump, terrible for people, but he's great for ratings. Yeah, well, Les, the problem is that we now are the truth tellers. We, people like Cenk, like us, Tim Black, Nicole Sandler, The Humanist Report, Democracy Now!, which has been doing this for 20 years. Cenk's been doing this for more than 10 years. Free Speech TV. We are the new media. We tell the truth. And your audience base is dying. And the new audience is on the internet. And you can't lie on the internet. That's essentially why we're able to do this today, folks, is because you cannot lie on the internet. You will be held accountable by the people, and you can't bury the truth on the internet. And they are losing hold on us as we pull more people away from their bullshit narrative. It's awesome, but we have to stand strong. We have to keep going. We have to be relentless. Think about it. How long have I been yapping at you guys to be relentless? Go back, I don't know, 6 months. Go back 8 months and think about if we had quit then. Oh, man, Bernie lost Super Tuesday 1. So let's hang it up. Or Super Tuesday 2 or 3 or 4. I don't even know how many freaking Tuesdays we've had so far. So it's another one of them weird Tuesdays where we're going to watch some election fraud and Bernie's going to win the other state. That's, We have won because we have been persistent, and this is what it takes. I was talking about the Boston destruction of the tea in Boston, right? That got turned into the Boston Tea Party, and the fact that it was one of many engagements that they'd had. Hi, how you doing? Music to my ears. Hi. Anyway, we're awesome, guys. We're gonna go out with something that we need to just always keep in our heads. Give me a second to pull it up. And before we go out though, we have a press release from the campaign that we need to all read and help them out with. I guess Hillary Clinton not interested in confirming doing the debate. So they'd agreed to a debate back when Hillary thought she was doing really good, or I don't know, just because. Who knows why? They probably were just lying about it. Anyway, they said they would do a debate in California in May. It's now California mid-May. Fox News is where it's going to be on. That ought to be interesting. Sorry about the audio peaks there, guys. Have I been blasting your ears out? Jeez. I apologize if you're all deaf now. Hang on a second. Audio keeps cutting off a bit. Yeah, I don't know, guys, what the deal is with the audio or anything of that. So, let me just read this to you guys. Senator Bernie Sanders on Wednesday welcomed an invitation to debate Hillary Clinton in California before the June 7th primary. The Sanders and Clinton campaigns in January agreed to hold a debate in May in California. Wow, I was blasting you out. Sorry, guys. Sorry if I made you all deaf. Jeez. Let's see, what is so? Both campaigns have been invited by Fox News to debate. We've been told by the network that we would accept we told the network we would accept the invitation with the understanding that we have to reach mutual agreement on debate moderators, the format, all that bullshit, said Jeff Weaver. Fox News on Tuesday sent letters to Sanders and Clinton requesting their participation in the debate. Chronicle has also expressed interest in co-sponsoring California debate. I would love to restream it. Fox News has been oddly pretty cool about streaming their stuff, so, who knows? And that is my dog barking right there. Something's going on. It's important, guys. I have a guard Shih Tzu. He's very dangerous. Anyway, more than let's see. So we're more than halfway through the month of May, and we hope Secretary Clinton will soon make good on her campaign's commitment to agree to a time and place. However, right now they're kind of capitulating, and there are issues of enormous importance that we need to talk about in California, don't we? Absolutely. Like, every time Hillary Clinton gets on camera, she's confronted with the fact that she has lied over and over and over again, and she can't commit to anything simple like ending fracking. Banning fracking in California is something I definitely think is on the agenda, considering we're turning the place into Swiss cheese. There happens to be a fault line or two there. They've been talking about earthquakes there happening. There's no water there. Nestle Corporation owns all the water in California. I have no idea why they continue to sell the water to Nestle. You got some serious, but you got that methane leak that was just killing everything. You've got LA is toxic. We watched a video where this girl was like, it took her years of complaints, people dying all over the place in LA because of fumes and bullshit going on. Finally, some investigators are like, oh, we'll check into it. Of course, the gas industry has always been great about taking care of cleanups and reporting spills and doing really good with reclamation and making sure the environment's been safe. Yeah, no need for us to go in there and look. So finally, after all the bitching and moaning, somebody goes in. They couldn't even do the investigation. They couldn't even do the investigation. They walked in, they were like, oh God, we're going to get sick. And they walked out. That's how inept and pathetic your government is right now. The last time it was this inept and pathetic, we threw some tea off a boat and we started a war. Think about that. This time we're trying to fix it with politics. Let's hope. Let's hope. We have to stand strong. We have the California primary coming up. Let's talk to Hillary. Let's reach out to Hillary and her supporters on the net and see if we can't get them to find a pair of stones and get Hillary in this debate in California. I'm sure Robbie Mook has a set of conditions. Bernie can't be there. No questions about anything that Hillary doesn't want to answer. I'm sure they'll have, some standard, whatever it is. Let's get them in there. Let's get the cowards to do the debate. to answer some questions. And I'd love for the Fox News people to actually request straight answers, yes or no. And I'd love for fact checking to actually happen in real time, because this is the 21st century. So it's not like we have to send out for carrier pigeon and come back, well, according to the smoke signals, that's wrong. We can actually say, you know what, Mrs. Clinton, you're lying. Here's a tape from you in 2000. Oh, here's a tape in 2006. Here's another tape from you in 2012. You said 5 different things on that issue. Where do you stand today? I would love for somebody to actually call bullshit live. But none of the networks, save TYT, have the courage to do that. Anyway, guys, join us tomorrow, newsroom, 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern, and what else was I going to tell you? Did I get this right? Did I have this up? Yeah, I got this. Okay. We also have Keith Monday. Michael's almost terrified of your tax sheets. Yes, I know my tax sheets was scary. We have We the People tomorrow. Everybody, people. We have We the People. Keith Monday, candidate for 16th District of Ohio House of Representatives. He is a badass. We're going to have him on to talk with us about what's going on there. Got some stories in the news. He is a burner, and we are excited about talking with him because, he's not getting any airtime like all of the other down ticket candidates that we have on our program. If you are in Florida, please help Tim Canova. I push Tim Canova specifically because he will remove Debbie Wasserman Schultz from her role in government there in Florida. And I can think of nothing more wonderful than seeing her out of politics. Right? That's the least violent thing I can think of for Debbie Wasserman Schultz that I can say live, is that she get out of politics. Tim Canova stands a great chance. He's a good guy. He burns. He's raised a buttload of money, but he needs to double that amount of money, at least, because she's already got $2 million. She's got $2 million and the establishment behind her, and yeah. So anyway, let's help Tim get over there, do that. If you donate for Bernie, listen, we found out the other day, Bernie's got money, but unfortunately, California costs a lot of money, and so they're trying to decide, well, how much do we spend on ads versus how much do we spend on ground forces versus, so. We double up on our money for Bernie. This is the last push. This is the let's go, so that he has enough money to run ads and ground force so that we can kick some serious ass. If we take California, like actually really take California, not a 70-30. I'm talking an 80-20. 80-20 is taking California and causing serious delegate damage. If we can get that kind of a switch, barring all of the election fraud that will most likely take place. Okay. Even with that. So we really have to get like 90-10, and then election fraud will cut it down to like 80-20. So if we can manage that, which I know sounds really difficult, but we just donate, boots on the ground, phone bank has been a massively effective. I got called the other day, Sanders campaign. I was all excited for a minute because, guys, it was a message. It's like, hello, John. This is Michael from the Sanders campaign. Really? Cool. They never call me. Just wanted to remind me that it was time to turn in my ballot. That's all. It was just somebody with the grassroots. Just, hey, turn in your ballot, dumbass. I'm glad he called. So, phone banking, face banking, very, very important. Do them. Donate if you can. Help out your down ticket candidates. This is the foot in way that we can get things done. The foot out will be protests, because a political revolution by definition includes direct action, which means protest. So protest. There are lots of groups forming to do that. Philadelphia is coming. I'm planning on being in Philly. I talked about that earlier, and we will talk about it again tomorrow. There is a rally tonight. We are not covering that rally, but I'm sure it will be covered on News Universe, Bernie Sanders speeches and events, maybe rally speech and a couple other places. And if we find a local, we'll drop that stream to you guys. And we're going to go out with something that we always need to be reminded of, and that is Bernie's religion, because this is the difference between an establishment politician and a candidate of the people. This is what Cenk Uygur tries to explain to his bobblehead friends in the networks, and they don't get it. because it requires being real. And they've spent so much time being bobbleheads, they don't even know what that looks like anymore. So, this is Bernie's religion. And quite frankly, it should be the foundation of how we move forward as a nation and as a globe. Feel the burn, everybody.
This is what I believe. Every great religion in the world, Christianity, Judaism, Islam, Buddhism, essentially comes down to do unto others as you would like them to do unto you. As a 22-year-old kid getting arrested in Chicago fighting segregation, I believed it in my whole life. That we are in this together, not words. The truth is, at some level, when you hurt, when your children hurt, I hurt. I hurt. And it's very easy to turn our backs on kids who are hungry or veterans who are sleeping out on the street. And we can develop a psyche, a psychology which says, I don't have to worry about them. All I'm going to worry about myself. I need to make another $5 billion. Hey, this whole world is me. I need more and more. I don't care about anybody else. I believe that what human nature is about is that everybody in this room impacts everybody else in all kinds of ways that we can't even understand. It's beyond intellect. It's a spiritual, emotional thing. When we say that that child who is hungry is my child, when we do the right thing, when we try to treat people with respect and dignity, I think we are more human. That's my religion. That's what I believe in. And I think, most people around the world, whatever their religion, their color, share that belief that we are in it together as human beings. If we destroy the planet because we don't deal with climate change, trust me, we are all in it together. That is what my spirituality is about.
Huge